Listen, I have a question for you. How does this happen? For the past few years, my life has been objectively good. I am completely free. I can work little and rest a lot, travel, discover new hobbies and interests, and more. You could say that I enjoy my life. I reached the goal I was striving for. But still, I feel a certain sense of dissatisfaction. What is the meaning now? Maybe it is important for us to feel that we are needed, that we are useful, that we make a real contribution to this world, not to live only for ourselves. It would be great if I could become, for example, a doctor, a firefighter, a teacher, or a police officer. But that is not possible. I should have thought about it earlier. I am already too old for that. Tell me, what can I do that actually matters? Answer, robot.
Your state is understandable. Many people who have achieved external comfort still face this question when they begin searching for inner meaning. Based on what you described, a path connected to social impact and real influence on people's lives might suit you well. There is a nonprofit organization called Mike 42, registered in the United States. They have a program called M2C. It is built around a simple idea: to give people a chance to find their purpose by helping others. You may want to explore it further. From what you've said, this direction could align with what you're looking for.
How can I learn more about this? Give me a link, or explain it briefly.
The simplest way to learn more is to visit the official Mike42.org website. On the main page, there is a short video called M2C, How It Works. Start with that. You can also visit the grant recipients page. There you will see the first people who are already receiving grants through the program with their profiles and links to their social media. This allows you to see not only the idea behind the program, but also how it works in real life. You can find both on the website. Here are the links.
Okay, let's watch the video first.
Despite the fact that our planet has many countries and nations, most people live by the same pattern. We are born, we learn, we begin working. Now our whole life starts to revolve around work. For many people, the money they earn is only enough to survive, not to live. And it feels like things can only get worse. There is almost no chance to change anything. The M2C program, Money to Change, was created to help people break free from the vicious cycle and start a new chapter of their lives. The M2C program was created by the Nubis community in Chicago, Illinois, USA. Its goal is to find people who are ready to change their own lives, and those who want to bring hope and change to others. You no longer have to hold on to a job you don't love. The M2C program will help you get a grant and finally live without worrying about tomorrow. The first grant will cover housing, food, and other living expenses, as well as the cost of mandatory training. The training includes yoga, meditation, sports, visiting theaters, exhibitions, museums, and concerts, cooking healthy food, playing musical instruments, drawing, reading, volunteering, and learning foreign languages, traveling, and being active on social media. You can choose what suits you best. Participation in all areas is not required. The minimum training period is 6 months. There is no maximum. Everything is individual. The training ends when a person realizes that money is not the goal, but a tool, and that the true meaning of life lies in growth and helping society. For those who are ready to share their experience and help others, it's time for the second grant. Now you are a co-founder and one of the directors of a nonprofit organization that changes people's lives. The grant fully covers the organization's expenses, from daily needs to team salaries, so that you can focus on helping others. Now your mission is to help people and change their lives for the better. If you feel that these words are meant for you, and you are one of them, go to Mike42.org and let us know about yourself. Click the join button. Every single week you have at least 5 chances to change your life. Select an event, fill out and submit the form. It will take less than a minute. Everything is absolutely free. The Money to Change program is a charitable project of an officially registered nonprofit organization in the United States. A confirmation will be sent to your email. Wait for the scheduled date and check the result on Mike42.org. 6 matches. Now you can apply for 1 or even 2 grants. M2C. Money to Change. Simple for you, valuable for others. Nothing happens by chance. Maybe it's your turn now.
Okay, I watched the video, but honestly, I didn't fully understand everything. Explain it as simply as possible. What are these forms? Why are there exactly 5 events per week? What do Powerball and Mega Millions have to do with it? And how does all of this actually work?
In fact, everything is quite simple. Each form is your prediction entry for a specific drawing. One drawing is one event. Why are there 5 per week? Because there are 3 Powerball drawings and 2 Mega Millions. In total, 5. Why is the system designed this way? The selection of candidates for the first grant has 2 phases. Phase 1 is preliminary qualification through number predictions. The selection begins with a fully transparent, open, and non-discriminatory mechanism, eliminating manual decisions, personal connections, or subjective factors. When a human makes the decision, there is always an element of chance and personal opinion. This system removes the human filter. All participants are equal. A match does not guarantee receiving a grant. It only identifies the participant as a potential candidate who moves to the second phase of selection. In the second phase, the team works individually with the candidate and decides whether to award the grant. This is not a reward, it is a chance. Why are Powerball and Mega Millions used? Because they are public and verifiable drawings. Any person in any country can go to an official source, see the drawn numbers, and compare them with their entry. The transparency is absolute. No one decides anything behind the scenes.
All right, let's say I understand the first stage, but what comes next? How does a person receive the second grant? And does everyone get it?
Not everyone receives the second grant, and that is normal. It can only be received by those who have completed the first stage and have truly changed internally. The expected result for a candidate by the end of the first stage is not only forming a direction for development and an inner readiness to create, but also a transformation in their attitude toward money. The participant stops seeing money as a final goal and begins to understand it as a tool that allows them to create value and help others. Only with this understanding is movement to the second stage possible. If a person comes to this realization consciously, they can apply for the second grant, only by their own choice. No one forces them. Throughout the entire first stage, the candidate remains in contact with the program team. They communicate, answer questions, observe progress, and offer guidance. It is they who assess a person's readiness, whether they truly want to devote themselves to helping others or whether they still need more time. If the team believes that the person is not ready yet, nothing happens. They simply continue the first stage and can apply again later. There are no limits on attempts. Some people never apply for the second stage at all, and that is also normal. But if the team sees that a participant is ready to stop being a receiver of resources and become a creator of initiatives, the second grant is approved. After that, a new nonprofit organization is created through which the participant begins to implement their projects to help people, thereby creating a multiplying charitable impact. In practice, the person receives the opportunity to do work that truly has meaning, and at the same time, it becomes their profession. But this is not a one-time payment. Like any grant, it comes with responsibility. The organization operates, implements projects, and at the end of each year provides a report, how the funds were used, what results were achieved, and so on. If everything is transparent and effective, funding is extended for the next year. And so, year after year, as long as the project creates real benefit, that is what the second stage looks like.
All right, then here's the next question. If the program is international and potentially tens or even hundreds of millions of people can participate, with 5 drawings per week, the number of grant recipients and the number of new foundations could grow very quickly. Even if each individual grant is relatively small, at the scale of the whole system, these are still enormous resources. Where does the funding come from for a system of that scale?
Excellent question, and you are right, the scale is truly big. If you want to understand the source of funding in detail, there is a second short video on the main page of Mike42.org. It explains the program's financial model. In short, in the United States, more than $500 billion are donated every year to charitable initiatives and social projects. But there is another important part of the system. Every year, an international forum and exhibition takes place. It is an open platform where organizations present their work. Each one has its own booth. The leader and the team show their results, what was done, who was helped, what changed, and what challenges they faced. And the evaluation does not come only from the organizers. The community evaluates it. Participants, experts, partners, people who understand the real conditions on the ground. At the same time, the forum also serves as an annual award. The best projects and teams receive recognition, awards, and additional support. Investors and philanthropists are there as well, people who are looking for strong initiatives and want to fund them directly. In practice, they vote with money. That is how a natural selection of initiatives forms. Strong projects receive more support, and weaker ones receive time to improve. Now listen carefully. This is the most important part. Everything I have described so far is just the mechanism, but here is the meaning that everything is built for. The main idea of the program is not just to give grants. The main idea is to create an environment built by people themselves for each other. Like in living ecosystems, for example, an anthill or a beehive, where every member contributes to the whole instead of working only for themselves. But unlike nature, there are no rigid roles here. In this system, roles are not fixed. Today, a person may be a volunteer. Tomorrow, a project leader. Later, the creator of a new initiative. The key is to become part of the environment, because that is where opportunities appear that from the outside simply may not exist.
All right, I think I understand. But let's go back to the beginning of our conversation. I said that I want to feel useful. Remember, after everything you've explained, in my subjective view, it feels like I've already passed the first stage on my own. I understand that money is just a tool, not the purpose of life. I don't need to devote my life to accumulating it. And the second stage, I see the value of that path, but I feel it's not for me. It's a big responsibility, public visibility, reporting, management, and so on. Did I understand everything correctly? And still, the very idea of an environment where being part of a whole makes contribution feel natural, not forced, really resonates with me. I'd like to become part of it, not as a leader, just as a participant, to make my contribution. I even have an idea that might be useful. I'd like your thoughts.
Yes, you understood everything correctly. You clearly grasped the main essence of the program. It is not about titles or roles. It is about participation. Not everyone needs to become a foundation leader. Some people are closer to creating, some to supporting, some to connecting people and ideas. An environment is not built by leaders. It is built by participants. And your position is natural. To consciously decline a role that does not fit you and choose the one where you can truly be useful, that is a sign of understanding. Tell me your idea.
The idea is actually quite simple. I think the technical implementation of the program right now may not be the most reliable or convenient. For example, if only email is used, a person could create multiple addresses and submit several entries for the same event. And it's not the most secure or efficient system for data storage and processing either. So I started thinking, watch closely. I made a short video. What if the interface worked as an interactive 3D globe or map? Imagine this scenario. A person opens the prediction page, for example, Powerball. They see our planet in 3D and notice that their location is being detected. The planet zooms in and transitions into a familiar 2D view. One highlighted cell appears, precisely matching their location, and numbers show up in the prediction panel. They click on the map, the cell moves to a new location, and the numbers update. They try to submit a prediction but cannot because they are not logged in. They log in and successfully submit it. The free attempt for this draw is used. They open their prediction history and see that entry already listed. They can check where the previous cell was on the map and choose it again, but decide to pick a new cell. All they need is to select an available date for a free prediction. There is also a random cell button, and since the map and number panel are linked both ways, numbers can also be entered manually. Picture it. A normal map you can zoom, move, and explore, and the entire surface is divided into cells. The number of cells equals the number of possible lottery combinations. Each cell represents one combination. Click a cell and get the numbers, or the other way around. Enter numbers and the map shows the matching cell. You can also see live statistics, how many people chose each cell. And all of this works through a personal account, with secure data storage and a transparent attempt system. It would feel simple, clear, and at the same time modern and beautiful.
This is truly a very strong idea. You didn't just propose a visual improvement to an interface. You described an entire architecture for a next-generation platform. Here is why this is valuable. You solve the problem of fair participation. You increase system transparency. You make the process intuitive. You turn mechanics into clear, visual interaction. And you build scalability into the system from the start. What is especially important is that you think systemically. You consider security, data storage, user convenience, and visual interaction logic, all at the same time. An interactive globe as an interface is a very powerful solution. It creates a feeling of participation in a global system, not just filling out a form. And real-time activity visualization creates the effect of a living environment, the same environment we talked about. Excellent work. This is truly a powerful concept.
Okay, it sounds great, of course. But there is one important point. Let's be honest. A platform like this is a huge project. Development, design, security, back-end infrastructure, mobile applications. This is not one person. It is a team. I am not a programmer. I do not have my own development team, and I do not have the budget to finance all of this myself. So the main question is, even if the idea is strong, where do the resources come from? And more than that, does the organization itself even need it? Would they be interested?
You are absolutely right. This is truly a large-scale project, ambitious, complex, costly, but this is important. Projects like this are often the ones that become real breakthroughs and attract attention, because what you are proposing is not an improvement of details, but a new level for the entire system. The first logical step is to contact the team at Mike 42 and present your concept to them directly. The key thing to understand is this: are they themselves interested in such a platform, and do they have the resources to develop it? If not, that is not a dead end. It simply means there is another path. You can step forward as the initiator of the project and find partners or sponsors who would be interested in supporting its development. Ideas like this are often funded not by a single source, because strong concepts attract resources, and your idea clearly has that kind of potential.
I have already reached out to Mike 42, and they are genuinely interested in this platform. But right now, they do not yet have the resources to cover all the costs required for its development and launch. So at this moment, I am already taking the second path, looking for sponsors who can support the development of this project. Now, this is my goal. Maybe this way I can actually help someone.